August 19th. Pale Rider. Pale Shelter. Looks like you're good to go, Miss Sandalwood, the nurse told her as she finished dressing. Just follow the regimen as prescribed and you should be ready to return to duty. Yeah, whatever, Sandalwood said, taking the paperwork from the nurse. She had no intention of following it, as she had her own workout regimen she had to follow. Her body felt stiff as a board after having to sit out all this time at the hospital. As soon as she brought herself back up to finding fit to bear. Also, your body's here. Sally called for a wheelchair to take you out. Nurse Knopford. The day you do that, it's the day you could bury me 6 feet under, Sandalwood grunted. She heard a snicker from across the room, and not even looking away from the nurse, said, I take you find that funny, Hearts? Oh, Sandy, don't ever change, Hearts Flare said, going over to pick up her friend's bag. You ready to leave? Only I'm out too late, came the response. Besides, I'm not sure if I could stomach one more day of hospital food. She looked at the nurse. No offense. None taken. The nurse giggled. But at least you get to escape. So they actually had to pay some of us to stay here on a regular basis. Would you believe that? As the two departed the hospital, headed for the garage, Hart said to Sandalwood, Are you sure about this, Sandy? Not really, she sighed. Personally, I would prefer to go back to my apartment. But given that it was completely destroyed by that freak hurricane, it's a goddamn loss I couldn't even really cover much from. As it is, at least the insurance company gave me a nice fat check to make up for all of it. I know what you mean, Hart countered. Yeah, I do. And yes, I'm sure. The two waited by the elevator for the next one. This was a colossal mistake on my part. A chance to try to see if I could live the normal folks do. Boy, did I fuck up. You didn't fuck up, it just... I appreciate that, Hearts. But let's be honest, I boned this one hard. And now I have to make it right, even though it's probably gonna rip me in two. Hart sighed. Sandy, please don't do this to yourself. Too late, Hearts. Too goddamn fucking late. They got in the elevator and Sandalwood leaned against the wall as the doors closed. Every single day, Hearts. Do you know what it's like? It's hard enough working with him. It's impossible for me to keep my feelings in check. Do you know what I dreamt of last night? No, but telling you, you're gonna tell me anyway. The other girl replied. They took my cuffs, hooked me up against a chain link fence and went to town. And I wanted that. I woke up crying, because I didn't really get taken in some backstreet alley. Do you know how fucked up that is? Sandalwood was quiet for a second as the elevator dinged each level. To make it worse, his true love's my best friend. I can't fix Katie anymore, you know that? I feel like I'm gonna snap at any moment. And when I do, it's not gonna be pretty. Oh, stop being such a drama queen, Hart said. Katie knows how you feel, and she doesn't hold it against you. She trusts you. I don't trust myself, Sandalwood said, punching the nearest wall. She forced herself to calm down. She hadn't even left the hospital grounds yet, was already maneuvering herself to another stay. Trust me, this is best for everyone. All for you, Sandy. You had me worried, you know that? Art went over and hugged the other girl. We're old friends, you and me. I don't want you to suffer this alone. I know. That's why I'm telling you, Hearts. This is for the best. All for you. You're right now for me. My life is a fairy tale. And sometimes we don't get happy endings. Thanks for coming with me to do this, Velvet, Keynes told her future mother-in-law as the two stood before the cell block in North County Correctional Center. I come here a million times and normally it doesn't faze me, but this time... I understand, Katie, the older woman said. I'd be lying if I said I wanted to be here, so I completely understand your trepidation.
I don't recommend having that attitude, DECSD deputy advised him. You get eaten alive with an attitude like that.
Keynes, long familiar with the place, gave the man a smile. Don't worry, Shutdown. I'll keep an eye on her.
I'm sure you will, Counselor, under normal circumstances. But these ain't normal girls. Hell, if it wasn't for the fact that even as head cases, they're still considered highly dangerous, they'd probably been moved to the SMW.
SMW? Secure Medical Wing, Keynes explained. It's where to keep the presidents with medical issues. There was a loud buzz, and the large metal gate swung open.
This way, ladies, the deputy said. You'll be meeting with her in room 2. That's the one we have set up for this sort of thing. She'll be behind a plexiglass window, so don't worry about your safety. Even still, I will exercise caution, given her training. We have the room on a live feed that's also being recorded. The recording is only for the sake of prison security, and any copies we give you also have to be given to the defensive attorney.
A lot of security just for a single girl, Keynes mused.
She's not like any girl I've ever seen, the deputy replied. On her first day back up, she nearly killed someone. Practically stabbed his heart with a ballpoint pen that the guy dropped. If at any time your life is in danger, we'll be just outside the door, authorized to use lethal force if need be.
I'm sure he won't come to that, Keynes insisted.
They reached the door. I'll be out here, waiting for your signal, he assured them.
The two entered the room, and the door immediately closed behind them. Across from them, separated by a large window of plexiglass that bifurcated the table, was Control Russ. She was seated at the table, hands had cut to it with the chains giving her just enough room to move her hands, but that was where it ended. Currently dressed in a black and white prison jumpsuit, the suit also had additional dark red bands on it as well. She looked sallow, her eyes sunken in her eyes, her hair stringing, and far from the animalistic girl that you remembered from earlier. What's with the red bands on the suit? Velvet asked Keynes. Super high risk, Keynes answered. Means he's attempted to kill someone while incarcerated. Because he tried to touch me when I didn't want it, a voice said, and the two turned to Contaro. Her jaw tense and nostrils rose slightly. I had to teach him a lesson. You understand? She gave a wolfish smile. I only snapped his wrist. I was being gentle. Unless, of course, he made the idiot I stabbed with a pen. Well, he deserved it. I really don't appreciate being referred to as a criminal. You're not a criminal, Velvet asked. No. I'm a soldier. A warrior. Oh, well, I used to be Dr. Velvet. As to what I am now, I suppose that's what we'll find out today, won't we? Both women looked at one another, then back at the girl. You know who she is? Keynes asked her. Unsure. Oh, I know who both you are, Miss Cadenza. But you don't have anything to fear from me. I'm hardly in a position to harm you, nor would I. That was unsettling enough that until the former siren said the words that set both of them on edge. After all, you are the dearest family members of the newly born goddess. I don't think that... You're not the only one that was changed by time, Miss Cadenza. The look in Contral's eyes was sad. I know what I was. I was beautiful and powerful, ever-changing and everlasting. I was more than I am now. You were a monster, Keynes accused. Not were, Counselor. I always was one. Katana Blast, the Canadian government made me one. Nassari looked at Cadence. Did you know that at the age of 9, I killed my first person? Executed a man who was on death row. By the way, officially Canada doesn't have a death row, but as the world knows by now, Ottawa has been very good at being very hypocritical. She leaned forward. That is, Divine's right magic only made me the personification of what I was. Forever changing. Forever beautiful on the outside. Forever a monster as well. She sighed. I thought that's what I wanted. I was drunk on my own power, too. High enough to realize what it was doing to me. And now? Well, now I know what I was. But at the same time, I also recall what was placed into my brain. But you know what? Magic is a funny thing, ladies. It permeates you, marks you. It never, ever lets you go. It won't let go of me. She paused. It won't let go of my child either. Child? Velvet asked, looking over the medical records she was given. Yes, you didn't know. Kenazone and I are pregnant. Oh, I'm sure the record will show otherwise, but I can feel my child growing within me, cell division by cell division.
Who's the father? Was it the boy you killed? We should notify the parents when you start the show.
Oh, that won't be the case. You see, the father is in here with us, though she's back to her original gender.
Kotaro spoke. Both adults looked at each other in shock, then both at Kotaro.
Please tell me you're joking,
Velvet said weakly.
Siren's eyes were filled with sorrow. Medley suffered the worst of all of us, it seems. Yes, she wasn't always what you'd call an ideal person, even for what she did. But she didn't deserve everything she went through. And now her mind is barely there. She sighed. Counselor, can you answer a question for me?
I'll do my best within my legal framework, King said simply.
What happened to the ones that turned on the organization? I know there were some.
The response was oddly calm and even contemplative, as though Kotaro had finally given up. I can't answer that.
You can, the ex-siren said matter-of-factly. You just won't. That's okay. I wasn't expecting an answer from you. I was really going to ask her anyway.
I'm afraid I can't be of service either, Velvet said. But then both she and Cadence realized she didn't mean either of them.
I know you're there.
Kotaro spoke up to the empty space to the woman's side.
You don't have to hide. I'm no longer in a position to do anything.
There was a flash of light, and to Velvet and Cadence's surprise, Sunset appeared from nowhere.
What are you doing here?
Velvet demanded of her daughter.
I wasn't going to let you walk into the lion's den, Mom. Neither you or Katie. Sonny, you know this is being recorded, right?
Cadence asked, astonished at the sudden presence of her future sister-in-law.
The video is a recording of a calm conversation between you three,
Sunset replied, crossing her arms. It's not picking up any of this. Kotaro clapped.
Brava, Divinity. Brava. You are everything that full divine wanted to be. I'm suitably impressed.
You wanted my attention, Kotaro. You have it. What do you want?
I have a request, Divinity.
Stop calling me that.
You are a goddess? Divinity, it is only right.
To the shock of the two women, Kotaro got up and snapped the metal chains as they were nothing. She walked over to the edge of the plexiglass and genuflected.
You are power and love, Divinity. You are more powerful than I, and I fear you. But I also know you don't harm the innocent.
Sunset stood there, folding her arms and not saying a word.
You know what's going to happen to us. That there's one change left within us, and it'll kill us three. That we are going to die for what we did. And I'm at peace with that now. But I don't want my child to suffer. Mine or Kenzie's. So I have 3 requests. I know I'm not in a position to request anything. Well, you're truly a fair one, Divinity. You shall grant it to me.
Sunset was quiet for the longest time, and Kotaro took that as a sign to continue.
When Kenzie and I give birth, make sure our daughters, and yes, we will have girls, I can feel it, never know about us. Never let them know we existed. Change their genes, give them new DNA and parentage. Let them live innocent lives. Otherwise, I fear my rage and anger will pass on to my own daughter. It shall become a flurry of hate and despair. I can't even begin to think of what would be passed to Kenzie's child, much less what Medley brought into the mix.
I will. I won't have this happen again, Sunset promised. Your next request?
Our next change will destroy us. Your grandmother has seen to that. It is our punishment. Not even the laws of man can change that.
Kotaro had trouble.
I ask that whatever we become, that we would not be allowed to know what we were. I fear if we did, it might be harmful.
You're asking for a Karma Houdini, is that it? Sunset asked.
No. No way to escape what Faust did to us, and I'm not sure if I want to. It will happen the day after I give birth. I will say who I am and become other. As for Casey and Mad, when that happens, we won't know what we were. We not even be human still, but by some chance we are. The person I will be won't be Contral Rush anymore, and I deserve to be forgotten. I'll consider it. Your last request? The story Siren. You know it still exists, even if your cousins were never a part of it. Even if any of the girls that escape are a part of this new reality your grandmother built, CSIS is still there. Director Golden Rule is still in charge, and she is like any other spy master. She won't let go of an asset that's too valuable to the nation. She's a true believer in Canada, and she'll take a fall before Canada gives us Siren. Plus, there's no guarantee that even her successor will. Even with it now being a public scandal, they will find a way to hide it. So Siren must be destroyed, and only you could do that. That I will agree to. I really don't like messing with geopolitics since they're not my forte, but I would do it even to Washington if I knew what was happening here in the U.S. Thank you. Now please leave and let me be the monster I am supposed to be for a few months more. Contral told them, Don't bother saving us. We will see our punishment in less than a year, and there's nothing that can be done about that. Contral, there's still time to change. Yeah, you'll probably never see a day beyond bars again, Sunset told her, but you'll have peace of mind for the remainder of your days. No, I can't. As much as I want to, I can't. Contral began to cry. It's tempting, but it would be a lie. I'm a monster, Divinity. Monsters rage and thrash and gnash and claw and bite and cause fright. I am the thing that children must fear under their beds and adults must pray to remain behind bars. I had to be who I am, to show the world what I am, what I was made to be. Please don't do this. You are worthy of your power, Divinity. We are monsters, and yet you wish to spare us. No, I'm not worthy of being an Alicorn, Contral. I never was. I'm just as flawed as you are. Be that as may as you are now such, and you have your role to play in the cosmic scheme of things as we do. Please leave. I had to figure out how I'm going to cripple the guard that brought me in here without killing him, and that's going to be a challenge in these cuffs. Don't. The angels must always have their devils to contest with, and you, and Alicorn, you said you were now? Well, you must have whatever it is in your world you must contest with as well. And you, as the Alicorn of Earth, I will be there for you, until the time comes when I am no more. Sunset Flux and Keynes and Velvet quietly left the building. By the time they made it to the car, sitting in the back seat was a disconsolate Sunset. I would have. She told him, if she had just changed, I would have given her a second chance. But she doesn't want it. Sonny, I know this is going to be hard to square with your, newfound power, Keynes said, but I believe in the rule of law. That's why I'm a lawyer. I believe that when crimes are committed, we must do what we have to in order to make sure it never happens again. I can't count on divine punishment to do what must be done. That's why we have laws. Velvet looked at her daughter with sympathy. This must be hard for you. I'm supposed to be both a normal girl and an all-powerful Alicorn, Sunset said. And now a goddess to humans as well? I don't know. I don't have the mindset of the divine. Not yet, at least. I can't see the way things my grandmother and my biological mother do. And I'm not even certain Lyra thinks in those terms, to be honest. You never told me much about her, not even her name. It'd be rather complex if I did, Mom. Besides, I don't want you to think that I'm... Sunset didn't finish her sentence. She wasn't sure how to. It's okay. I get you're conflicted, sweetie. And no one said you had to love your bio mom any less because of me, or that you had to love me more. You're an adopted child, Sonny. Things like that are normal, especially when you're adopted as late as you are. Have you talked to the triplets about it? Now that this new timeline has given them a bit more perspective on that, Maybe they can help you with your feelings on the matter. Maybe, Sunset said, wiping the tears from her eyes. I know I talked to both Rainbow and her sister. Skill was adopted, but never really sank in. Maybe we could get someone to talk about this there? Kian suggested. I've seen the big sister type for Twilight and the others, Sonny, and I don't intend to give that role up now. Maybe it's time I show you how things are done around here. Sunset giggled and smiled. I guess I still have a few things to learn, don't I? Kian gave her a smile back. That's what being a big sister's all about, Sonny. Learning as you go. I'm at the Pizza Hut, Sanaa sang softly. I'm at the Taco Bell. I'm at the combination of Pizza Hut and Taco Bell. Seriously, sis? Arya said testily, leaning over a plate of tacos. You're seriously doing that here? Sanaa took out her headphones. I'm sorry, Ari. Were you saying something? Ari facepalmed. Dazio gave her sisters that look. Never mind, Sonny, Delta's triplet told her. Put away your headphones and put your game face on. Oh, and ask if the freaky so she's got her spell ready. In the booth across from them, Raspberry glared at Dazio. I have a name, you know. Just ignore her, Raz, Sanaa told her. Ari and I appreciate you doing this for us. Yes, well, I'm adjusting to using this human magic while I still have it. It's unique. You guys are more violent than my species, and yet your magic is more utilitarian. Like, it doesn't have a concept of alignment to it, like pony magic does. Weird. She then held up a quesadilla. Plus, I don't get much of a chance to eat a Baronesso food back home, because Ponyfield doesn't have a Baronesso restaurant. In any case, the spell's already operating. People won't hear anything out of the ordinary. Thanks, Raz, Arya told her, then turned back to her older sister. See, that's how you should treat her. I don't know why you don't like her, sis. Whatever. Adazio sighed. Look, Sable's supposed to be here any minute now, okay?
Good thing I showed up then.
Sable approached the table. Nice rhyme! And unlike the others, he had a couple of slices of pizza with him.
Tia's a pizza purist, so I'd be dead eating here normally, he told him.
Don't worry, we won't say anything. Adazio said with a smile. But I'm glad you arrived. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, well, I figured that would be the case. Sable told him. What's up?
Look, I know this is unusual, but we're going to get right to the point. Arya began. We want you.
Sable looked at her oddly. Thanks, Ari, but I already have a girlfriend, and you're a bit too young for me.
Arya looked down wide-eyed and realized what she said and blushed furiously. Adazio tried not to facepalm. What Arya means is that, well, you do remember what we told you in the old timeline? About how we sirens were overseen by a male figure and why? Things are different now, obviously, and as you could gather, we weren't sirens in this timeline. We still have our training, and we still have the mission to protect Sunset. You know, the sirens are right now special soldiers, adopted by Velvet and Nightlight, have a completely different backstory, lack the magic of their cannon cells and all that. And I still think this is a better adaptation of the Sirens than Evening Sonata.
But combat training is a perishable skill,
Sable nodded. But combat training is a perishable skill, Adazio repeated, agreeing with him. We need someone who's been there for us, someone we can trust, someone we respect, and we will follow your lead.
Have you spoken to Sunset about this?
Sable asked her. Not really. This is our business, and I know she's going to try stymieing us wherever she can, because we're her cousins now, and to us, family is family. Dazio explained, but I remember what her grandmother insisted. Like, it's not a good idea to go against the will of a deity. Yeah, plus, given everything Twilight went through earlier in this year and what Tommy's going through now, I'm not sure us telling her that we're going to be throwing ourselves into wolves every time we're worried about her is going to do wonders for her home life, Sanaa added. So with that in mind, we want you to be that commander, Adazio said. We've asked Raspberry, when she gets home, to deliver a letter to Sunset's biological mother, who's the ruler of that nation, to transfer our flight to Equestria's military. Sable smiled. Well, the problem is, girls, for starters, you don't have a flag.
In this reality, you three were never military personnel, thus have no flag to transfer.
Yeah, there's that, Adagio admitted. But the way I think of it is, we were given this life in order to protect Sunny. Just so me, that's a commission, which means there's a flag to transfer.
And the other thing is that a flag must be held by a general officer, Sable noted, or a flag officer, since technically you three were not naval commandos.
And that's when you come in. Ultimately, we can't do this alone, Adagio said. We must rebuild Siren, but if we're going to do it, we need to do it the right way. Which means we need someone of strong moral fiber to be our flag officer. Someone who's been there and knows what it's like.
What do you mean we can't do this alone? There's only 3 of you. 4 of you count me in this mess.
Dacia reached into the bag and brought with her and slid a letter over to him. This is the letter that is our proposal to the equestrian government. If you accept it, you need to be the one to sign it. Sable looked at the letter, reading it, then reread it, then read it a 3rd time, because he didn't believe what he was reading.
You realize what you're proposing, right? This isn't some spur-of-the-moment thing. You put some thought into this?
Sunny is our cousin and like a sister, Dacia said softly. Even in the time before that, she was probably one of the first real friends we had outside the sisterhood. And now we've been tasked with keeping her safe. Something we would already do because we love her. So yes, I'm going to do what I can for someone who's my liege lady and my cousin. Because she means that much to me. That's actually sweet, Raspberry said. And without looking, Adagio flipped her off. Real mature, sis, Arya modest. You should be nicer to Raz. He's doing a lot for us right now. Can we focus on the matter at hand? Adagio deflected. Turned back to Sable. So, what do you think?
Adagio, I want you to think about this. Because if this works, and you have no idea it does, you talk about building what would be considered a private army of sunset species and putting them under human command to protect an alien god queen that prefers to live like a normal human teenager.
No, I'm talking about protecting my cousin, who may as well be my sister. Everything else is just incidental to the situation. I know that Sunny and Ari feel the same way.
You are asking me to be the literal adult voice of reason in this.
Hey, I'm just a flying teen who has no real-life experience, Adagio snarked. I couldn't possibly know about the ways of the adult world, much less of what it's like to kill a man to buy who's raping his own preteen daughter.
That sounds like a specific thing.
Let's just say when I get some free time, I'm going to ask Sunny to look into that. And if that change has been referred, I'm going to do it again.
Sable looked at Adagio with an inspecting gaze. What if I say no to this?
Then I'll sign the letter myself and take my chances, Adagio told him. I want you to be a part of this. Sable, and I'm willing to turn over command to you. But you weren't the one who was given directive to ensure Sunny's safety. We were. And even if I didn't, I would anyway. We love her and want her safe.
Then we do this my way, understood?
He took the letter, folded it, and slipped it into his pocket.
This is a good start, but this is more of an executive summary kind of thing. You need an actual plan, and you need military documentation. I have an old friend at... Oh, God, every single time with these acronyms. NAV, SPEC, WAR, that can send me to classified and unclassified documentation. We'll be rebuilding the organization based on those lines.
Not U.S. Army lines? Arya asked, surprised.
You girls have a culture that's naval ingrained, and would be ashamed to change it. And even though you're not RCN anymore, I'd like to keep that tie for you. Plus, I suspect we're going to have to justify this to the existing equestrian navy. And that means we're going to have to be precisely tuned. And that means we'll have to go in fully prepared.
So that means you'll do it, Sable? Adagio asked.
It's not proper for junior officers to speak to their superior officers by name, Captain Dazzle, he told her.
I'm not a captain. I had to take this sub-lieutenant rank when I executed Kanatana, but that was an emergency protocol. Besides, captain is an army rank.
I don't mean that kind of captain, he told her. If you're going to do this right, then we're going to build this along this line of SEALs, which means you'll eventually be in charge of a full team, which makes you a full bird captain. He then turned to Arya and Sonata, and you two will be commanders.
That's a promotion I think I could live with, Arya said.
Now your first orders are these. Start looking into procuring uniforms and gear for us. I know you have the gear downstairs in that bunker, under Knight and Velvet's place, but eventually we're going to have to find housing for 200 alien-turned humans, as well as logistical explanations how they'll live here and how to live on Earth without tripping over their human counterparts.
Yeah, that's gonna be a tall order, but we'll get it done. I'm confident.
Lastly, I want a name change for this new organization. Calling us Strategic Intervention, Reconnaissance, and Execution Network is not going to fly if we're going to impress the Equestrian naval brass. I suspect, especially the execution part of the name. With all due respect,
would you like to use the siren portion of the name if possible? Arya asked. We may not have been the Canadian sirens, but we're still Sunset Sirens, and as trivial as it might seem, that's important to us.
I'll see what I can come up with after meeting with your cousin, Sable said, because that's the last thing. I don't want this done behind her back. It's not fair to her, and furthermore, if the equestrian government says yes, then ultimately we'll answer to her. I'll call Velvet and see if I can arrange a meeting for the 5 of us. For now, ladies, let's just eat and let's relax. Celebrate, we can go to the movies. My treat.
Really? Sanaa asked.
Just because you're going to be combat troops once more doesn't mean you're going to stop being teenagers, Sable reminded them. In fact, I think I'm going to insist on that.
Adazio smiled sincerely. I think I like you even more, sir.
Still taken, though.
The eldest triplet laughed.